Yes, I think that's correct. You should be opening 2 mod views, or 3, or 5, or however many swords it is that you have in that particular quiver. Wait, swords don't have quivers, they have scabbards. But you can get what I'm saying. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. I haven't streamed in ages. Oh, Woodstone gave me a shout out. I have to do that. Hang on. Actually, does my shout out command still work? RimWorld. I love RimWorld. It's like part of my big inspiration for... Hey, it does work. Look at that. It's part of my inspiration for creating like crafting survival-y type games. Big fan of RimWorld. Big fan. Okay. Don't think we need to watch Tilly sleeping. She's fine. She's absolutely fine. My partner's been using shutting her in the wash house as a kind of a correction for her barking excessively. But she forgot that she was in here this afternoon. She comes out and it's like, where's the other dog? I don't know. Gradually narrowed it down to the wash house. We love our dogs. Honestly, we do. She was very contrite when she came out. Right. So we have Blender. We have, if I'm not mistaken, Open Recent Donut Blend. We have a donut. It's an actual donut. It's got icing and everything. It has a little imperfection, but we won't talk about that. Donut. Okay. So now that we have donut, we need to get it using BlendV. We need to get it into Blender, into Bevy. I need to understand how that works. So let's see what we've got in our three. Actually, hang on. Is it in assets already? Assets, levels, donut GLB, and scene GLB. That's interesting. I wonder why we have 2. Interesting. I think I exported one as scene. Okay, let's look at some code. Let's look at assets. Asset tracking. We have scene. We do not have donut. This file is included in crates. You're wrong. What state are we in build-wise? Apparently, Rust Analyzer is still doing its thing. It's still going. Still going. My tea bag has disappeared into the teacup mug. I had to fish it out. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Oh yeah, you need tea. I always have to remind you of this fact. It's important. Go get your tea. Okay, seriously, how long can this cargo run take? Go make tea. Still blocked. Do we need a cargo clean? And then Lurch can make it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who else is on for team? Hypnotic gets the shout out. We got Snenko, we got Clayman, we got Woodstone, and me. And who's on for green? Anybody? Oh, just me. Just me. Okay, seriously, what is going on with this cargo? Has Rust Analyzer just completely had a brain fart? Okay, cargo clean. Thank you. This will take a while. This will take a while. So, I shall sip my tea and contemplate life in general. How you doing down there, Tilly Pup? Good girl. Good girl. My mic boom makes a shadow across there. It's kind of weird. Need to update my overlay. It's still running Bevy 13. We need to upgrade it and make sure that the real-time stuff still works. Oh, and do so much overlay work. So much. So many things to do. And yet I've spent a large proportion of my time off either looking for jobs or playing games and doing nothing. So I cannot complain. That's not true. I've done quite a lot. Went to the tip. Dropped off a bunch of stuff in the back of the ute. Went and threw frisbees for the dog. That was good. Sunshiny day with the dog. With the big dog. Not the little dog. Come on, Cargo, you can do it. I believe. I believe. You can do it. There's a long-ass build from scratch. Boop-a-doo. Boop-a-doo. Come on. I just want to know if we're actually producing anything right now or not. Aha! Rust Analyzer has finally recovered. Field seen is never read. Well, that's good to know. Sheep jump. I think this is leftover code from a certain other game that we won't mention right now. A certain other game. Oh, come on, Bevy. I didn't buy an i9. I know I didn't. I bought an i5. It's a good i5. It's a whatever, 13th, is it 13th generation? I've lost track now. It's a good one. It's fast-ish. Yes, all the cores are maxed out, but that doesn't mean you should be complaining. Hey, we got a build. Okay. Could not find an asset loader matching loader name none. Asset type none. Extension none. Path some levels seen GLB. Okay, well, that certainly does not look like it's going to work. So let's just see what we can do about that. Could not find a loader matching. Load collection level assets. Asset collection resource. I'm pretty sure that GLB works. Pubstruct scene. Pub world. Add the scene bundle to an entity. Add the handle scene to an entity. I see. Okay. But it couldn't find a loader for it. That to me smacks of a feature that might be missing from the install. Let's check with Bevy asset loader. And GLB, maybe GLB, OGG, PNG. Let's have a quick look for a GLB. Okay. Asset maps. Audio assets. It's kind of weird that audio assets has an animation in it, but okay. Paths collection mapped typed. It's not quite what I was anticipating. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. I think the sample code I was using was Chris Biscardi's one, but I don't think he was loading assets the same way I am. So nothing else. Let's try scene. Issues. GLTF scenes randomly get swapped. Loading GLTF animations individually. Tea's brewing time. Zeta timer, do not forget about the tea. Do not forget. Panic when loading scene from GLTF. I just want to see an example. Mind you, this was 2023. Oh, my knee is sore tonight. I can reproduce this already with one GLB file. I'm not seeing what I expect to see here. It couldn't find the loader for GLB, I think is what the deal was. So is there a feature for it, I wonder? We've got 2D, 3D, standard dynamic assets, and progress tracking. And what have I got enabled? $3D. Okay. What are standard dynamic assets? Bevy common assets. Manual dynamic assets, standard dynamic assets. I can try it. It seems a bit of a shot in the dark, but no. Could not find an asset loader matching loader name none, asset type none. It's weird. It's like it's not, the extension isn't there. I'm definitely missing something. What about scene? Funny. Struct scene handles handle A, handle scene, handle B, handle scene. Bevy asset loader is doing something more complicated under the hood. Without the scene O at the end of the path. I'm definitely missing some information here. So where is the example of how to load GLBs? Maybe there isn't one. Let's widen this to Bevy asset loader and handle. This is random. I don't even know if GitHub search is going to cope with that, but let's try it. Issues 5. There's one in Bevy. Unable to directly spawn GLTF that does not require components. No, that's no real help. Load untyped. Nope. So give me a code example. Ooh, this is promising. Oh, the scene 0 business. Right. Do you know what? Let's try that because that was mentioned in the other issue. I don't really understand why, but let's try it. Ah, that did actually load. Interesting. Okay, I don't expect to see anything because I don't think I've implemented that far yet, but that's good. So we got rid of that error. So what is this scene 0? Is that just part of the GLB file? Let's look at scene GLB. Oh, it's binary. Okay, never mind. Just out of curiosity, scene 0? No. Okay. So let's look at level. We've got spawn player. Can turn virtual text off. And then we need to know how we were going to actually display something. Is the next thing. Man, having target and not excluded from the fuzzy finder is kind of annoying. I should probably do that. Okay, so let's think about this. What changes have I made that have let me do these things? What have we added here? Just the name. Start committing some of this stuff so we can clear away the cruft. T-minus 2 minutes. Wow, how long are you brewing it for? Whoa. We'll commit all of this to clean up. 5 to 10, wow. Amazing. This is pot tea, right? Okay, so assets levels. Materials I'm not sure about. What's in materials? Huh, okay. So let's put a bunch of stuff in there from the Blender plugin. All right, go grab it. Get that tea into you. Add donut, I guess. Okay, so we've got all of that, but we haven't done much in terms of the app plugin business. App plugin, yeah. So main and then lib. Add Bevy plugin. Title 3, blah, blah, blah. Plugin for app plugin. The main camera, which we changed, right? Yeah, we added a 3D camera. And we decided that actually having the default UI camera didn't matter in terms of whether you could, like, you can display UI using the 3D camera, which I didn't know, so that's good. All right, now, how do we actually get it to show something? So for that, I think we go back to the sample code that Chris had for his tutorial series. So I wonder if do I have that indexed? Christy messaged me. That is not what we're looking for. So I wonder if it's best to go back to YouTube and look for that tutorial series. And what we want is Blender. Yeah, this one. Did he update that at all? I think it was still this one, which is before BlendV was a thing. And hopefully the repository, yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's look at this and see if we can. Let's look at his assets directory and see if it mirrors ours to some extent. Oh, no, it doesn't. So we just got level, registry, untitled blend, and untitled blend 1. Okay. Source. Main. Now, some of this was the drag and drop stuff, which I don't really care about right now. I just want to get my donut displayed in a window. I don't care if it rotates. I just care if it's displayed. So we've got level assets, and he's used Bevy Asset Loader here, which is good. And then start level, spawn point light bundle with a transform, and that was because the light wasn't imported from Blender. And then we've got scene bundle, assets level clone, name. So let's just check that we actually got that far. So I would expect to see the phrase scene bundle, and I do not. Okay. So why don't I, in level, we have spawn player, which isn't a thing because I don't have a player anymore. At least, do I have a player? I do have a player anymore. Okay. But that's a 2D player. So just to get something working, why don't I yank out most of the player's code? Register type player. We'll just make the donut our player, basically. That's what we're going to do. This is what's going to happen. So spawn player, input map, don't care. Oh, actually, this is my Leafwing input manager code, but that's fine. Player animation, don't care. Texture atlas, don't care. Go away. No, no, but level assets. Level assets. There we go. Input manager bundle, sure. Name, sure, although it's the donut. Player sprite bundle. Okay, so here we want a scene bundle, and we want to get rid of texture atlas layout. Actually, I should start my key thing. Show me the key. Yes, do that, and then do this, and then do this. There. Okay. F sharp indeed. Ah, you have T. Excellent. I can tell. I can just tell from your overall demeanor. Movement controller. No, 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 no. See this down, down, down? That should never, ever happen in Vim. Bad Vimmer. Very, very bad Mimmer. Mimmer? Vimmer. Player animation. No. State scope screen gameplay. Yes. Okay. Now we get scene bundle. Let's use the example again. Camera 3D bundle we already have. The scene is the asset, the clone of the asset. So scene bundle, scene, and level assets. I think it was just called scene clone. Default. Okay. All right. Record directional input is not really necessary. I would expect a bunch of things to probably fail because I ripped out some code. And I don't think that this will work. I think it will be dark and a black screen. But let's just see if it builds first and foremost. Let's just see if it builds. Will it blend? Ah, Blender. Just got that. Oh my God. Okay, it worked. It's a donut. I have given life to the carbs. The carbs exist in a very mutated kind of way. Interestingly, it's kept its light source. So I'm guessing that got imported from the blend. I'm guessing that happened. Now, we've got... It's a donut. It doesn't do anything, but it's a donut. Okay, so we've got errors. We got camera order ambiguities detected for active cameras because either multiple cameras were spawned or ambiguities. But the thing is, I only spawned one of them, I thought. Let's look at our world inspector. 3D camera. Window. We've got a camera and a camera 3D. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I do not know, but it's still a donut. I did not expect that to work. Just curious, is it lit the way we would expect? It's not oriented the same way, for one thing, but then I moved around, right? So its orientation is It may have created the default point light. The light is very close to where the camera is. And actually, isn't that the orientation it is right now? It is, right? So it's faithfully rendering this scene, which is interesting. It does something. It donut. Okay, cool. So I wonder what's going on with this kind of moi pattern here. Would that also happen if I rendered? Like if I render, what happens? What happens if I render? What happens if I render? What happens if I render? Almost exactly the same thing. So the shading convinces me that we have the point light in the same place. So the light has been imported from Blender, which is cool. But obviously it's much, much nicer. And I wonder if that's rendering because this is a 4K screen that we're on, even if I'm only streaming part of it. Whereas my resolution in the application is set to 1080p. So for example, if I quit out of here and change that, or even just let it default, I'm not sure what the default will be. Oh, smaller. What about if I make it enormous? Like, well, actually, MSAA is off. Maybe I should change that to... just to see what the effect is. Oh, my camera's busted again. Fortunately, we're still looking at the dog. It's a very serious looking frozen face. Are we back? We're back. Hey. All right. So now we have... Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that was that's different. I guess anisotropic filtering isn't necessarily what we want in this particular case. Cool. All right. We'll turn that back on. I mean off. And what about just flat out upping the resolution? What is it again? What's the next step up? It's not, it's 2K. What's 2K again? I've got it in my sway file. It is, I always forget, 1440. So 2560, 1440. Just out of curiosity. See if this has any effect. Whoa, that's a big window. And it's a big donut, but it still looks relatively jagged with a funny little... Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Something to do with the way it was exported, the settings it was exported with, maybe. I do need to find out what's going on with the camera ambiguities. Because there should only be one. There can be only one. Okay, let's think about this. Let's think about the thing. Let's think about what else are they doing that I'm not doing? They're creating a point light, but I don't need to do that. Maybe I should try to make it spin. The spinning donut. Shadows enabled. You spin me right round, donut right round. Like a carbohydrate right round, right round. Transform, blah, blah, blah. So where's the thing where it updates? Sorry about that. Transform, rotate, Y. Okay, so it runs on a timer, basically. Okay. And does that run... Yeah, on update, rotate donut. Okay. On update, rotate donut. These are phrases I never thought I'd say. Rotate donut. We are rotate donut, rotate donut. Anything with a transform that has player on it, basically, is what we want. And some time, and we'll copy this. Thank you very much, Chris, for teaching me. I appreciate you. I wish you didn't stream at 3 a.m. my time, because I would watch you every day. Instead, I watch the VODs. This, by the way, is Chris Biscardi, who I should just promote. I just need to find his Twitch handle. Hang on. But also largely streams on YouTube, as a matter of fact. A very knowledgeable... yeah, it's just Chris Biscardi. Nice. Very knowledgeable Rust and Bevy person. And their YouTube is... this. And you should listen to their content because it's awesome. Okay, so rotate donut, donuts, query. Man, I've forgotten how to do some of this stuff. No, I haven't. It's just been a while. Query. It's been less than a week. I forget things quickly. Okay. Query player, which obviously is wrong, and then time is res time. And we rotate. Okay, what did I do this time? Oh, yeah. Wow. That's appalling. And so is this. And this. There we go. Now we go to here. And set record input. And then we're going to go app, add systems, update. Rotate donut, inset, app set, update. Okay, let's see if that has any effect whatsoever. Well, something's happening here, but it's not doing what we thought it would. I wonder if... Maybe it's just failing the query? Spawn player does not have... Yes, they do have a player. Let's take some of the confusion out of it here and go... Oh, let's go donut. Okay. So move transform. Time delta seconds divided by 2. I guess the only other thing is info current transform and just make sure that that is actually being manipulated. Okay. Give that a quick look. It's nice to be back working on this stuff. I've been kind of... The longer I go without streaming, you kind of get that mental block going on, which has to be... Whoa, well, we got transforms changing. Translation is always 0. Rotation is definitely changing. But not apparently moving the donut. Do you know what? There are 2 donuts, right? There's one on top of the other. I'm wondering if one is moving and the other one isn't. Hang on. What is actually player? Children. Entity. I could have just used this to look at the transform. So the child entity doesn't seem to be changing, but what about the transform here? Yeah, that's definitely rotating, right? So I could have done without the info. I could have just looked at this. So it's not moving translation-wise, which is fine, but it's also not rotating. Or rather, it's rotating, but the view's not updating. Why would that be? And yet this appears to me to be moving. Which makes me wonder if we're rotating one of the donuts, but not the other donut. Look at that glorious 3D donut. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? It's a donut that refuses to move, though. Look, its rotation is rotating, but its donut isn't donutting. Why isn't it donutting? If I stop the... It's not donutting, damn it. It's refusing to donut. What if I stop this... And does this pattern kind of go back to being static? That's what makes me think that maybe there's a donut within a donut going on here, like a donutception kind of situation. You got to watch for the donutception. Now, if I stop the rotation by doing this, rotate donut is no longer a thing. Does it look more static? Or does that pattern change in some way? It does. Look at that. So something was rotating, but I don't think it was this bit. I think I have 2 donuts. But in theory, because they both have transforms, they should both be rotating. But maybe, I don't know. It's confusing. Changing the rotation doesn't seem to be enough. Oh, the other thing is, if I bind the component, this Bevy thing has got a thing where it can specify the component to use. Where is Bevy? Tool? No. Active tool? No. View. Bevy. Here we go. Bevy, common, root folder, assets folder, blueprints folder, blah, blah, blah. Level scenes, scene. Library scenes and reset settings. Component. Add. 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 Why won't you add? Oh, components for scene none. Good to know. Good to know. Rename, fix, update components. No results found. Do not add. Add. It won't add. God damn it. The UI leaves something to be desired. But considering it's better than what I could have done. Scenes, library scenes, scene, level scene, scene. Okay. Scene. Camera, background scene, active clip. I don't fully understand what it is that I'm supposed to do. Let's go back and look at the video and see if we can detect what's going on here. So scrub, 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 scrub. Components.
Bevy components plugin that I talked about earlier from that zip file, as well as I've installed the GLTF auto export plugin, which is from the same project. If you look at the Blender UI here,
Lurking, thank you so much for the lurk.
Make the Blender UI any bigger. I'll have to figure that out for future videos. But if you click a little arrow that's here, you end up getting this little sidebar. This little sidebar allows you to click on Bevy components, which is vertically written. So tilt your head 90 degrees to read that. That pops up this menu. So you can see I've got coins selected here. And the thing that you really need to do is click this browse for, I forget what this says exactly, but it's basically like open the file browser to go get that registry.json schema file. So we put that here and then we click reload registry. That will take this registry.json file and give us, if you click this drop down in the components, this giant list of all of the stuff that was in our Bevy app. So this is all
so
of the
how does that get generated though?
Here. In this case, I believe it's all of the components.
I need to go back to the yeah, so that's why it can't find any components, because we haven't done that step. So let's go back to Bevy and see what we're missing here. Quick start guide. Download Bevy, blah, blah, blah. Run the following commands. Cargo add Bevy, cargo add Bevy. Okay. Assets registry JSON. This file contains the information about all components exported by your game so that Bevy can PSO them. All right, so what does that file contain right now? Ah, okay. Do we have donut? Yes, we do. Okay, so now, well, we don't need that screen. Now we go reset settings. No, we don't. Do we? GLTF settings, match Blender visuals in Bevy. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds like fun. Auto exports GLTF files every time you save your project. That's a good setting to have. What about... Oh, AutoMod got the cheap viewers thing for me. That's cool. I did not know they were doing that now. That's pretty cool. Okay. Is it time for another team shout out? I feel like it is. Clayman. Got the Clayman shout out. Excellent. All right. Now, registry file polling frequency. Oh, so it's polling it. Well, let's reload the registry just in case. And then go back to components. Component donut. Hey, there they all are. Now we're talking. So how do I associate the component with something in here? Right? I should probably do this tutorial from scratch. Okay, yep. I don't know about these drop-down things. Reload registry. Yeah. Type in player and click on My Game Player. Now click Add. You can now set all the players' fields in a neat Blender UI. Oh, thanks for the ban, Fanny. I guess the auto mod thing doesn't do that. Interesting. Yeah, delicious, delicious bots, right? They're mostly protein, not carbohydrates at all. Yeah, that's interesting. I thought the auto mode would like absolutely ban them as well, but I guess not. And it holds messages, right? It's the first time I've seen it. The player component in Blender. I see. Interesting. Compose the world. Switch back to the world scene. The player character is a blueprint instance. Interesting. So let's go here. Make sure that donut is correctly selected. Okay. Oh, great. Now we got an error. Oh, we got ads in a sec. I still have a cup of tea, so I won't go and make one, but I think you need to set it higher to ban. I gotcha. Scene object has no attribute components meta. Wonder if this actually works with Blender 4. Let's just have a quick check on their issues. 29 issues. Oh, last time I tried Bevy, I think Bevy only support Blender 3. That is quite likely the cause. Wait, what? That is quite likely the cause. We got ads. Right. 3.6. Bugger. So is there work on... Well, it seems like Blenvy is not necessarily the way to go. Right now. But it would be a very interesting little project to possibly contribute to. Don't re-export Bevy. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I think we might need to quietly back out of this. It's good, but I wonder when Chris started doing his current 3D series, was he using the Blenvy process or not? Maybe he's still using Blender 3. This is Blender 4 though. So I wonder if rather than using Blenvy, he's just using the separate crates. Well, I feel like, first of all, if we go into scene, we look at assets levels. We've got assets level scene, and then we've got assets textures, assets materials, and that's it. Oh, and assets levels scene meta, which is empty. So it's basically a way of organizing your file structure. Spinning monkeys. First of all, let's remove that entire audio directory just for the hell of it. Clean things up a little bit. And fonts for that matter. And to be honest, textures. All right. And we'll go assets, textures, and fonts if it's there, which it isn't. Oh, Hypnotic. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. That's nice of you. Hey, that gamer. How you doing? Welcome in. YPNOTIK games. Oh, apparently I used the wrong command, so I have to type it again. There we go. Thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? What were you working on? What's going on? How have you been? Welcome. I am working on the classic donut tutorial, apart from this Python error, which should go away. The donut in all its glory. So many donuts. Oh, thanks for the follow, Vids. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing some 3D, and we've gotten to the point where we can do this, which is super exciting. Oh, no, we can't because we just broke our build, which always happens when you're going to raid something. Let's go with correcting that. Texture assets. That does not exist anymore. And let's try again. By Blender Guru, yeah. We did the first part of that and enough to get us to the donut stage. And now we can do this. It's very exciting. It's a static donut. But that's all it does. So there's still a little ways to go before I can really consider myself to be a 3D expert. But hi, everybody. This is the excitement that we get with open source game development. Things don't always work the first time. Not long, right? I'm going to be an expert. It's just going to be around the corner. Round the corner. What you been working on? How was your stream? Oh, art. Dialogue portraits. Oh, cool. So like they show next to the text, right? Sweet. So the question is, why can't I rotate it? So we have this little function here, which is designed to rotate the donut, because donuts should rotate. And we know that it does change the y-axis. Actually, why don't we change both of them, just for the hell of it? Yeah, a little bit of rust going on here. It's a rusty zone. Okay. Oh, interesting. The Bevy thing went away because, of course, I deleted the texture file. Okay. Well, we've got this animation effect here. So something is moving, but it's not what I think should be moving. The rotation is not a thing. Which is interesting. I don't know why. But actually, if we do that again and we look at the transform, we can see it's called player, but it's actually donut. We can see its transform. is changing, right? On both axes. So in theory, it should be going all over the place. But if we look at the children, yeah, entity, it too has transform. This transform is not budging. So I do wonder if maybe something is going on there that I should be paying attention to. I'm pretty sure I could make it move in terms of its translation. Transform translation y plus equals, I don't know, 10. And we'll just see if that shoots it off the screen at a rate of knots, which I suspect it will. Nope, it's not moving. Unless it's moving incredibly slowly. Let's try that again. Nope. Okay, good to know. So, oh, hang on. Yes, it is. It's moving. It's moving. What's happening to my donut? It's breaking up. It cannot hold the pressure. It's an exploding donut. Oh my god. What? What? I'm not sure I'm ready for 3D. What is happening? Jiggly donuts are the best. What on earth is going on? I think that's called physics. Oh, did I install a physics engine? Maybe there's gravity. I think I do have. Did I have a? It's sentient. I'm curious to see what happens as it continues to break down. We're witnessing the death of the donut. Like, is it just its existence is no longer tenable and it's going to cease to be? I still want to eat it. Fair enough. Also, is it me, but is this gradually moving around, like very, very slowly? Maybe that's... Oh my god. I know this is irrational, but I'm kind of waiting for my computer to explode. What is happening? If we look at the transform, exactly what is going on here? Okay, so yeah. So the Y factor of the translation is now up to about 700,000 and climbing. It's going non-Newtonian. It is actually. It does remind me of those kind of... it's not a solid, it's not a liquid, it's definitely not a donut anymore. Fascinating. It's gradually devolving into its component particles. Okay, this is not getting me anywhere. Let's think about this. Someone else will have to clip it when the screen goes black. Yeah, no, I didn't let it run. I'm sorry. My poor donut. So rotate Y, time delta seconds divided by 2. So the change in delta, what happens if we just remove that division? Do we get a slightly more dramatic effect? I'm wondering if it's either spinning too fast or too slow, and I'm just not noticing. It's the Matrix trying to reconcile itself and stabilize. I mean, yeah. Okay, we've still got this weird effect here. I'm just curious, what happens if I manually transform the child transform? So if we go here and change its rotation, Actually, very little. I'm not sure what this child is, because the thing is, there's two. What I'm actually changing the transform on right now is the scene, and I think that might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is wrong. And we don't have components assigned to the individual parts of the scene yet. And we've got two donut things, right? We've got an interior donut and the icing, which is basically an expanded version of the donut. That's how the tutorial works. Ah, well, the scale. Oh, the scale is the light. Interesting. That transform refers to the light. No wonder it's... Huh. Okay. That was an interesting piece of information. So this transform, which is rotating all over the place, that isn't also the light, is it? Interesting. And moving the translation does what? Very little. Okay. So this is the thing that's being tagged donut, but I actually think it's the entire scene and not the individual elements of it. And I'm not sure how to make that distinction. I'm just not sure. So let's go back to Chris's code. This is Chris Biscati, who's a very sensible and knowledgeable Bevy person. So we've got struct coin, handle scene. And the only thing we're spawning is a scene bundle, which, yeah. So I wonder how, if you weren't using Bevy, how would you associate things in your scene with components? Because we're rotating coin, struct coin, but we're not assigning that anywhere else. We're not even spawning it. We're trusting this components from GLTF thing to do it for us. We are registering the type. Export registry plugin, components from GLTF plugin. And I've got, because I'm using the Bevy version, Bevy plugin default. But when we tried to assign things to components in Bevy, we got a Python error, and I think that's because of Blender 4. We're using Blender 4 rather than Blender 3. Rename, fix, update components. So when I tried to add something, I get this Python error. Excuse me. Close, damn you. Close. Escape works. All right, so we can get the components, but we can't add them to the scene. So that's a little frustrating. So how normally would we associate components with parts of a Blender scene? Let's do a little research in that direction. In fact, let's use the big green robot to do our Googling for us. Associate Bevy components with elements of a scene exported from Blender as a GLB file. So how do we do it the manual way? Included meshes, materials, animations. I'm pretty sure we've done that. We have loaded the GLB file. Access scene elements. Oh yeah, so we used scene 0. Maybe that's the way forward. Yeah, this is not where we want to go. So I wonder if there's something in... I bet that's how you would do it. Normally you just go like donut. Name donut. User perspective 1 collection donut. Scene collection. Objects, camera, donut, icing. Do they have names? It's called Taurus 001 and Taurus. So can I change that? Can I go donut and icing, right? And then will that, if I save now, I think it's set to auto export, I hope. So then I ought to be able to do something like this. In asset tracking, this is total guesswork, by the way. Asset path equals levels scene GLB donut pub donut. I have no idea if this will work. But see, does that make sense? Because it won't be a scene, or will it be? Let's just run it and see if it errors out. Yeah, the file at level scene GLB, it contains the following 10 assets: mesh O, primitive, mesh 1 primitive. Well, at least it tells me what it's got. I bet it's mesh O and mesh 1. So where are those names in Blender? Unless it didn't re-export properly. Custom properties? No. Scene collection. View layers. Just finding your way around Bevy, around Blender, basically. So naming these was not helpful. And doing it with BlendV isn't going to work either. So what about if I just go with the flow and select Mesh O? Okay, well that gets back to where we were. Interesting that the background is not black anymore. I don't know why. Did I get an error message then? Nope. So what would happen if I tried to spawn in just this thing? Just mesh O instead of the entire scene. Oh, what did I call it? Don't know, right? Nothing whatsoever. Okay. And what about mesh 1? So there'd be no light, right? If you just imported one of the meshes without a light. So it might be working fine, but we just don't know it. So how do I assign a component to a part of the scene? Attempt to modify your response to use Bevy asset loader. Automatically associate components with scene elements. Your model GLB. It already doesn't use the scene O thing, but that's all right. It's still looking for the name as string. Query entities with a name component. What? This does not look right. This looks normal. That I understand. It's a time 20 to 9-ish, quarter to 9-ish. Oh, we're doing all right. Okay, so let's skip aside from ChatGPT because it's obviously not getting the point. Bevy asset loader. Associate components with, I don't know, GLB. Loading assets while loading assets. Loading GLTF assets. 3D objects not displaying. That's an oldish version of Bevy cheat book, but missing visibility components. I mean, the scene is displaying. Incorrect use of assets. Refer to the GLTF page. Spawning a GLTF scene. Spawning 3D models, scene bundles, scene. Transform and defaults. GLTF is a very flexible file format. A single file can contain many models or more complex scenes. To get a better understanding of GLTF and possible workflows, read the rest of this page. GLTF meshes represent one conceptual 3D object, which, right, so we've got mesh 0 and mesh 1. Do not have a core Bevy equivalent, but there is an asset type which describes the primitives. Could I use a handle GLTF mesh? Textures can be embedded. Samplers. Usage patterns. A single file might be used to represent a single 3D model, represent a whole level, possibly also including the camera. That's why there's two cameras. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. If you're using a recent version of Blender, GLTF is supported out of the box. I understand now. All right, so that's why there's two cameras. It's because of our GLTF file. So let's skip aside from this Bevy workflow with Blanvy, and try to... We're not going to do this anymore. We're going to go cargo remove Blanvy. And we'll just check our dependencies because I think there was a couple of other things. GLTF something or other. No? I guess it was just Blanvy. Okay. And then we're going to change our lib. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of virtual text. And we get rid of that. Then we'll go back to Blender and we'll just create a manual export. I think for now we'll uninstall Blanvy. How do I do that? Plugins, plugins, plugins. Edit. Preferences. Extensions. Add-ons. Blanvy. Disable. Okay. And then we will do an export. GLTF2. And we'll put it in assets. Materials, levels, and we'll overwrite donut, include renderable objects or visible objects. I think renderable objects. So I don't want the cameras and I don't want the light, I don't think. Although if we export the camera... No, I think leave the camera out of this. The transform... Sure, why not? Data... Okay. Selected objects, visible objects, renderable objects. Export. Did that work or did it refuse to overwrite? Today. Oh yeah, it looks like it worked. I don't know why this is red. Maybe it's warning me. Okay, so now we need to add a point light. And well, one thing we can prove is that the warning about the double cameras should go away. I wish I'd kept that a little bit more. G blame C. What? No. Who the hell is Carter Anderson? Oh, that must be from the original. The original. Quick start. What I want to know is it's going to be asset path and it's probably going to still say mesh 0 or something like that. So let's go wait a minute. What was it going to be? I guess I didn't commit that last one. I put it in. Did I put it in levels or did I put it in? Where did I put it? Wow, my brain is going. It's like it's gone already. Basically, it's going. I put it in levels. Okay. Donut. GLB. Hashtag. Actually, I wonder if I can get away without the hashtag. Let's find out. Donut. Handle. Scene. And maybe handle GLTF. But let's just try this. And then we go back to player. Oh, right. Whoops. Uh-oh, sneeze. Excuse me. Asset tracking. Yes, that should indeed be public. Okay, I'm expecting this to be a black screen, but that might also be a useful error message. Yep, could not find an asset loader. So now we use a completely bogus name in the hashtag. And then it should tell us what's actually in the file. Okay, it does not contain the asset foobar. It contains mesh O primitive, mesh 1 primitive, node O, node 1, and scene O. All right, so I don't know whether to use scene O. I feel like I should. Let's try it. Scene O. And then run again. I don't think we'll get anything because we don't have a light. Or we've got a camera. Oh my goodness. well, something's happening. I think we're rotating now. it's alive, but I don't know what it is. I suspect that our transform is extremely close to the camera. Okay, this is good. We're learning. Donut. Okay, rotate donut. Let's take the X transform away and we'll prove something. Yeah. What the hell? Okay, we may be inside the donut at this point. Okay, transform. Well, maybe camera scaling too. Like, do I need to move the camera further away or change its scale? Is it in lib? I think it's an app plugin. Camera. Okay, I just created a default 3D camera. So let's go. I should have looked at the qualities. Oh, well, actually, I could use the I could use this thing to change things. Viewport none. Where's my transform? Global transform and transform. Let's change our scale first. Okay, well that did something. I'm still pretty sure we're inside the donut. but I don't know what's going on. What about changing the translation? Okay. Well, we have movement. What about the z-axis? Aha! That is donut shaped right there. Evidence. It's a donut, kind of, with no light. Okay, so changing the y-axis translation moves the camera, or moves the donut away. Wait, am I moving the camera? I'm moving the camera. So moves the donut away from the camera. And then what happens if we scale? Right, okay. Interesting. Oh, we crashed it. We changed the Y of the camera way too much. Okay, one more try at that. Let's see what our limits are. So 3D camera, transform, scale, and a crash. Okay. Let's think about this. First of all, let's add a point light in the similar vein to the way Chris did it. Somewhere. Point light, here we go. And we might also change the, yeah, we might also use that for our camera. Do this first. Yeah. Intensity 4,000. It's over 4,000. And we'll use this. Oh, looking at, that's interesting. Let's use that too, just to see what happens. Name, new 3D camera. This business of naming things, very powerful. Point light. What did I miss? What did I miss? I missed something. What did I miss? I missed that. That's what I missed. Okay. So now we have, well, we have a much more, it is definitely rotating, but I don't think the point light is doing what I imagined it would be doing. But it's a much more sensible location of the camera. And it's moving, right? So this is good. We're making progress. Now, this light. Changing its intensity doesn't really make any difference. Its radius is 0 for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, changing its radius does something. What about changing its range? Why isn't that having any difference? Shadow depth bias. But yeah, it feels like maybe... Oh, we crashed again. I got to stop changing the Z scale. Shadows enabled true, intensity blur. Transform from XYZ. So why? Why? It depends on what transform they're using for their scene, in a way. They may not be using any transform. Where's the scene bundle? Here it is. Assets level clone, default. Right. So it's quite tempting to export the light from Blender and not spawn the light in there. So let's try that. Include punctual lights. And then we'll go back here and we'll turn our light off. And just see what difference that makes. Ah, okay. So using their light gives us a donut. Is it me or does it not have any icing on it? Interesting. I don't have any camera controls, do I? No. But I could zoom, right? Increasing but not no, actually just the Z translation. Oh, no, that's wrong, but it does get me closer. Increasing this scale? No, that just makes it thinner. Yeah, that zooms us. That does not have any icing on it. So this is just the underlying donut shape. Oh boy. Well, we're learning. Kind of. We're kind of learning. Because it is a donut. It's a very strange looking donut and it's missing its icing. But we're learning. That might be a good spot to raid out. Let's see if we can find someone to raid. We should really do that. We should check our team list. Woodstone's still streaming. I'm totally going to raid him. Just because I can. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out and raiding in. Very, very kind of you. Let's go pester this dude.